So how do you find love when you utilize NFTs? You don't talk about NFTs with the girl you're trying to fall in love with, because it turns out that NFTs and Web3 chicks aren't exactly into that, and if they are into that, a lot of times they're into it for the wrong reasons. And I've learned this the hard way. It's like, what do you do? I'm just in tech. What do you do in tech? I'm just in tech. Sales.
That's what you have to do.
So-
Simplify it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
And
so cool.
I found that most of them don't really care. So
Uh-huh. But then they find out NFTs are associated with money and cash, right? And they're like, "Oh, can I have some NFTs?" Yeah, exactly.
no, I try to. So this could lead into the second episode. I would try to avoid girls like that because I believe in authenticity, and if they were into money and cash, I found that girls aren't into the cash itself. Like they're into what the fun the cash can provide for them. So if you're like, I have $1 million, they don't care. Well, it shows some form of confidence, so they care about that. But it's like, I have $1 million. Well, that's great. What trips do I get to go on? Where do I get to eat? It's not so much the $1 million; it's like the fun that it can provide. The $1 million can provide. So if you can provide the fun, it has an equal effect. But of course, having cash does help.
Whoa, that's a genius hack. Instead of having money, just have lots of fun.
Yeah,
that's a hack to women. There you go.
And a mindset way around that is to be where the fun is. So I just look at myself. I'm the fun. I'm inviting you to enjoy my fun. If you don't want to go, that's your loss, and just move on to the next one.
Jeez, man. Good, so you figured it out.
Yourself, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, figuring it out or not. Who knows at this point? Well, I think we're all just kind of winging it, dude.
That's true. Well, you got like a dating app of sorts of your own, right? And so you've thought about this very deeply.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not so much deeply. It's more so I just follow my natural intellectual curiosity, and it's kind of where it led. So I believe everyone's happiest when they're serving other people, and I believe God, the creator, whoever you want to call that, bestows each of us with individual gifts that we should leverage to serve the collective. So you should be your authentic self, because if you're being your authentic self, you're the number one in the world. So I'm following my path. No one, not you, not any of your listeners, can beat me at following my path, because it's my path. I'm number one in it. But the same goes for you and all your listeners. So the way the dating app came around is a while back. I was on a podcast tour about specifically crypto and specifically about ShopEx, obviously to drum up attention, just because with a crypto project, that's kind of good. So I was on a podcast called The Crypto Economy with this dude named Mark, and we hit it off pretty well on the podcast, kind of like how we're doing, to be honest. But we kept in touch. We kept in touch after the show, like via social media, just like send each other stories and all that normal stuff. And then a couple months back, this random AI thing started following me on Twitter with 0 followers. I'm just like, what is this? Who are you? And it's like, oh, it's Mark. I'm working on this. I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny. Do you want to hop on a call? And then after helping, I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny. It adds positive to the world. It's a relatively easy sell just because dating apps suck. Let's start working on it. So then I just work on both of them simultaneously. And they both help each other too. Like stuff I learned from ShopEx obviously helps with Data.ing, but stuff I pick up on Data.ing helps with ShopEx because we're both ecosystems. So like more and more, a lot of people know about Data.ing because I'm so heavily involved in ShopEx, because I'm so heavily involved in Web3, and because honestly, dude, in Web3, a lot of people can't date. So they're like, oh, I can match people. They're like, that's cool. But on the flip side, a lot of attention from Data.ing is transferring over to ShopEx. Like it's going pretty well in the AI space. Like a bunch of VCs are reaching out. But because of my involvement, they know about ShopEx. So it's a whole on type thing where like they're both part of a larger ecosystem. They both benefit each other.
So are you creating like backlinks for each other, for like each platform?
No, I'm trying to keep those separate just because.
Gotcha.
Because you mentioned how some of the people who you connect with through ShopEx, they don't know how to date, so they can use that platform. So I felt like this was more. It sounded a bit like a kind of a backlink, but more of like maybe in person.
It's more of our organic thing where it's like, let's say we're talking to you specifically about ShopEx, you'd probably do your research, like, okay, who is this guy? Oh, he's involved in an AI company, and then you look into that and you ask about that. and vice
Mm.
versa. If I want a dotting phone call, like an investor or whatever, like, oh, this
Yeah.
is cool, but okay, I'm going to do my research on you. What is ShopEx? Oh, that's pretty successful. Let me look
Yeah.
more into that, and then both of them kind of spread in the background.
Okay. So when it comes to the the dating apps, obviously there's an algorithm that's matching people to each other based on their profiles. And we all know about Hinge, Tinder, Bumble as like the main top three. So what and each one has like its own personality. So like Hinge is for to find the person so you can delete the app, Tinder's for having fun, Bumble's a bit of a blend. What separates yours from those three?
Yeah, so ours is completely different. And to your point, it's little known that most dating apps, they're owned by Match.com. So while you may think that you're on a different app with a different, I guess, a different company, once a
Mm,
dating app reaches 1 million users, Match.com is the big daddy of the space, and they try to buy it, creating somewhat of a monopoly. So it's kind of like how if you're arguing Republican or Democratic, it's really just
yeah.
two different feet on the same like body type of
You're
thing.
blowing my mind,
So
dude, right now.
yes,
God.
and
Woo!
so that's factual. And I have a conspiracy theory that I'll share about the dating apps, which
Do it.
I can
Okay.
completely. Yes,
Let's strap in.
I'll give the problems first about the dating apps,
Go
the
for it.
solution. Then I'll go into the conspiracy theory. So with the dating apps, I think all three of us know that it creates a skewed marketplace. So the top 5% of users get 100% access to everyone on the app. So then, like, I hate to label people, but then a 5 thinks they're like a 9. They won't go with other 5 because, like, I'm a 9. Then they get old and they can't date anymore. So the top
Yeah.
users get, and yeah, so bottom users aren't even shown a lot of times, which I think is kind of messed up. The second issue is it's let's be real, dating apps are hot now. It's like, is this person hot? Is this person not? Swipe
Mm,
left, swipe right, pretty much zero going into the personality. And the third is the incentive structure of the app. So if you think about it logically, let's say Tinder does match a happy couple, they get married, they do that whole thing. That happy couple then leaves the dating app. What does this mean for Tinder? They lose a paying customer. What does it mean for Tinder's shareholders?
Whoa.
Match.com, the shareholders lose money. Shareholders do not like to lose money, and I think Tinder's actually owned by Goldman now. So Goldman really doesn't like to lose money. So
Jeez.
this creates something, an incentive structure that's reliant on churn marketing. So what churn marketing is, it's basically delete the app, download the app, delete the app, download the app again. So that's their incentive structure. So that's why Hinge is just like the app that's made to be deleted. But I don't know if you're on Hinge. I know everyone I know who's on Hinge, download the app, delete the app, download the app, delete the app. So it creates like a
that's so true.
vicious cycle type of thing.
Mm,
Where dating is, I would say it's completely different. So what we do, and we're in waitlist stage right now, but what we do is we auto generate a profile for you
mm,
based on your digital footprint and create matches based on their digital footprint to put users in the position to succeed. So for example, I could get 3 matches like Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. It's like, oh,
mm,
Jane seems cool. Tell me more about Jane. Oh, she's the youngest. You're the oldest according to Facebook. Our pattern recognition software across the board says this works well. Oh, you both go to national parks on Instagram. Oh, you both went to Ford University per LinkedIn. Oh, you both follow Alex Jones on YouTube. Like girls follow Alex Jones, but it's like, oh, did you know that you have this one obscure Spotify artist? You both listen to them. Did you know there's a concert coming up in a month? Would you like me to suggest a date with Jane? Cupid suggests a date with Jane. She sees my profile, which is auto generated. She sees like my recent posts, my recent feeds from my account. So this builds
mm,
comfort on her. She sees we have mutual friends. I'm not like a serial killer, which is big on the girl side. She accepts. We go on that date. We fall in love, and then if from there we get married, we do that thing. It can then function as a relationship butler after that. I'd be like, you guys haven't been on the date in 3 months. We recommend the place you went on the second date is having a half like a buy one get one free ice cream sale. Go there. Or oh, by the way, did you know she added this one product to her Pinterest board? Her birthday's coming up. You may not want to mess this up. Or hey, she started listening to a new artist. Buy them, but here's a suggestion. So it's
yeah.
going to be able to do all of that, and as it gets better, because the cool thing about our app, it's the opposite of Tinder and Hinge. Like in the sense, the longer you're on Hinge, the more likely you're going to stay on Hinge. The longer
Mm,
you're on our app, the more users we get, the better it gets at matching you. So like everyone's into different things. You just never know. So it's going to
yeah.
start off with like the same. It's like, okay, Eric, here's 3 options. The same, no, same, no. same. No, it's like, okay, this person's onto the same. Let me try something completely different. It tries something different, it gets a better result, and it shows me more of those people. So the longer you're on the app, the better it gets, the better at matching it gets for you. And this
Yeah.
is baked into our incentive structure because our long-term revenue plan is it's a free app. We want to be the place where you schedule the date. So we're integrating the Google Calendar. We're going to integrate with like Yelp and all those platforms. So if you schedule the date and pay with the date through our platform, that's how we would make our revenue. So it creates an incentive structure where not we want to get rid of all the bullshit conversation where it's like, okay, from the guys, and I guess this is probably something controversial, but from the two biggest problems in the dating market is I'll bash on the sexes equally. Guys, I'm not a talk with chicks. I have girlfriends. They show me messages from guys. I'm just like, okay, guys, cringe city. Enough of this. So Cupid handles the point up to the match and helps suggest the match. From the girl side, again, bashing sexes equally, they can't pick. They pick poorly. So we help the picking process for them. So it's a win-win. And,
Yeah.
Love it.
And now my conspiracy theory thing that no proof, but I've heard from multiple people this is the case. So if you see the dating app market as owned by pretty much just one entity, and their goal is to make money, think of it just like a sales funnel. So they'll start you off on the good apps. You have no success on the good apps, so they'll recommend you just like the more obscure apps, the more random ones, like what the fuck. Then you keep going down that, getting on the more obscure apps, and eventually they end you at like a Talkify or OnlyFans type thing where you're paying a minute per caller. So I think that's the end goal. So it's creating a funnel of just bleh.
Oh my god.
But that's not proven, but I've just kind of like I've been kind of researching that where it's like, yeah.
So
Eric,
they're
you
feeding
said a
the
lot.
desperation of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof, a lot to unpack right there. Go for it, Sai.
There are 2 points that I do want to dissect, which you mentioned earlier was about your app, which is the digital footprint and the point of like the reminders and like the thing that posting on Pinterest and how it felt like you were talking about having like an AI friend to kind of support your
A
relationship,
wingman,
like
if you will.
exactly, yeah, like a wingman, yeah, exactly.
We
And
are all,
also, it's so interesting that you mentioned the digital footprint because I feel like that is it can be a bit invasive. I won't lie, because I'm pretty
yes.
sure when you say digital footprint, it also involves like studying your social media, like your activity, maybe even studying your like reactions online, like how do you react to certain topics or on certain videos, stuff like that. A bit invasive, but I mean, if it helps, it helps. Pretty cool. So yeah, those are two things I wanted to dissect a bit. And then
Yeah.
on the conspiracy theory part, I feel like they're feeding on desperation there.
The conspiracy. Let's go. We'll quickly address the conspiracy theory part, just because I want to go into that. But I think they're creating the desperation itself.
Yeah.
So like people aren't put in the position, like especially guys, they're not put in the position to succeed on Tinder. Male loneliness is at its highest. They know this and they just amplify this, and I think they profit off of this. And to the dating app point, yeah, like I think of AI in general. It's like a butler. Like I don't think of AI as like a Terminator type thing. It's to me, it's just like a neutral technology where people can use for bad things, but they can use for good things. They can use it to make their life easier. So whether it be like ChatGPT using it to create like copy or posts or whatever, or for dating, it has the option to help. So from that point, and yeah, so it's like a butler, like a wingman type thing. And our old tagline was your ultimate wingman. And then the chicks, the girls who are like, they're fantastic. They're really great at marketing and PR. They're just like, no, but in the mind, that's what it is. And yes, it can be. And to your point about the data, yes, it does. The more data it has, the better it'll get to know you, and the better it will be able to match you. So that is true, but you also have the option to delete your data at any time. You have the option to connect with sources you want. And we live in a world where people are used to connecting pretty much everything anyways. Like even on Tinder and Hinge, like you connect your Facebook, you connect your Instagram. Yeah, it's already connected. And AI is getting good to the point where it's like on Instagram, like you don't even need a caption for it to read. It can see your photos. It can, like, let's say the national park example, like I don't have to post I'm at a national park. It can see the photo. It can be like, he's at this national park at this point in time. So that's just kind of the direction we're headed. And as things get So I think we're in Web 2, about to head to Web 3. I think Web 4 is just, so I would say Web 1 is read only. So you can go online, you can read stuff online. Web 2 is read and write. So you can go online, like Instagram, you can write content, I can write a post. You can read the post, but you don't own the post. So Instagram owns the post. They can delete you. They can sell your data. They can do what they want.
Mhm.
Web 3 is kind of where we're headed with like cryptocurrency in general. So that's read, write, and own. So you can read content online, you can write content, but you can also own the content. So if I create an NFT, I own that NFT. No one can take it away from me. If I give it to you, Saeed, now you own that NFT. I can't take it away from you. There's a connection between me and you, so I can send value your way. You can send value my way. So the government or Amazon can't take it away from you. Web 4, I think it's where we're headed in the sense it's going to be like it's just like a Ready Player One type of thing where it's like AR, VR, crypto, just all that shebang thrown all together. So that's where to enter that, you just have to kind of connect everything. You have a pretty heavy digital presence online. And it's not like people already have a digital presence, but I think they'll go more digital for the time being. And then I would say Web 5 is where everyone gets tired of them. Like, we need to go back outside. Let's get some sun. Let's go on a hike. So we have to get to Web 4 to get to Web 5.
So Web 5 is
That's-
like the end of Ready Player One.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, sorry, Ali, you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering. So you're saying that Tinder incentivizes people who are players, like people who hit on different people who don't necessarily want a long-term relationship but want just short-term things. And so if you're a wholesome person wanting just, to find love, it's harder than finding someone to hook up with because you're not using the app as much if you're finding love, because if you find love, you leave the app. But if you just want to hook up, you're on the app. So is it,
So,
you think, and since most people are finding people through the apps, no one finds love outside anymore, just normally, you know what I mean? Everyone's finding love through the apps. So what's happening is that our society is being reshaped into a world where we're looking for quick hookups instead of finding love, all because of these incentive structures in these dating apps.
yeah, and to your first point, I do much better in person. So I've had good luck with the cold approach, and that's something I recommend everyone try to do. It's just all the good relationships have been from that. Pretty much nothing good's come from the app. So that's just my personal experience. So on the Tinder dating app, if you're an average female, you get hundreds of messages. So it's too much. It's like the paradox of choice, where it's like, how do I pick an ice cream flavor if there's like 100 ice cream flavors? Just like, hey, I exist. So a lot of times girls just use it for attention, so that kind of wastes the guy's time. So that's on that side. And from the girl perspective, all the girls are chasing the top 5% of guys. So the Chads, the Tyrones. So now the top 5% of guys, they get to pick and choose which girls they want to date or hook up with. And then the rest don't get the option. So once a girl dates, like, let's say a 5 girl matches with a 10 guy, the 10 guy sleeps with the girl just because he can, he's a guy. Now the girl becomes, first off, she becomes less relationship material just because I don't think hookup culture encourages relationships. But now the girl, because of hypergamy, which is basically like once they date a certain level of guy, they go up or across, they don't go down. So this girl now thinks she's like a 9 or 10 because she's hooked up with the guy. So then she's only looking for 9 or 10. She's like, I need to go for 9 or 10s only, which obviously doesn't work out for in the long run because they'll use her for like a one-time thing, but they won't get in a relationship with her. And eventually that leads to like it leads to like her being single for the rest of her life. The guy's single too. The family's not there. Yeah, it leads to a whole bunch of bad things.
The collapse of society. And that's what that leads
I think so. I think it's some for. I think we're figuring it out, but I think there's powers that are pushing that type of degeneracy to lead to the collapse of society, where they can kind of like.
But to be honest, Eric, maybe it's a good thing that these two types of people stay single for the rest of their lives, because then there's no reproduction occurring.
No.
So we don't get their genetics to continue. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. You know, I'm just thinking out loud. Like, maybe they just be the last of their kind. Hopefully.
You're not, dude. You're not wrong. Like I believe everything happens for a reason. If that's the outcome, if they stay single and neither of them reproduce and neither of them pass
Woo!
along, then that curbs the problem too. Because how do you create? So if neither of them, in my opinion, will be fit to raise proper families, the kids they do raise will just follow in their footsteps. So maybe you're right, maybe we're not, but I guess time will
Oh my
tell.
goodness.
No judgment.
Everyone deserves
No.
love. Everyone deserves happiness, no matter who you are, I would think. But Eric, wait. Oh, I thought of a whole. What about in your in your little so what if on your page, right? Let's say my name is Sandra or something, and I'm just posting like me on vacation, me having a fun time. My digital footprint isn't really who I am, which is a depressed, raging alcoholic, for example. Okay, so you're broadcasting that I'm the super, active, happy person because that's what's on my profile. However, in the real world, I'm a horrible person. So how does that work for your app?
So the first thing I want to address is the comment you mentioned before about how everyone deserves happiness. I think everyone's base layer is happiness, so they just cloud that up. So if you want to be happy, how do you be happy? Well, it's your base layer, so you just kind of let go and relax into that. So I think that's a good message. In terms of your point of, oh yes, my life on Instagram is not my real life. Shocker. So that turns out that's everyone. So with our app, that's where connecting more social media accounts will come into play. So like, for example, your Spotify, like there's no point to like kind of fake your music. Yes, your Instagram shows your highlights, we get that, but the more apps you connect, the more wholesome a profile we get for you. And in the end, it lies on the end user for discernment. So our goal is to put the users in this position to succeed, to go on that successful date. So for example, like yes, you may be highlighting Instagram, like you go to parties and whatnot, or national parks, and that could be a highlight of your life. But in the end, that's probably something you're interested in because you're posting about it. In our example with the Spotify thing, where it's like they suggested a date because they directly said you both follow this one music artist. We suggest you go to a concert, so it directly said that was a thing that could match us. But let's say it didn't say that, and it's just something in the background, it would still make that match for you. So that could come up organically. So while you're posting your highlights on Instagram, that's just going to be one portion of the app where it's like, okay, this is kind of what they do, but it'll help create a more holistic picture with more profiles they link. And this will also help solve the botting issue on dating apps. So like if you're a guy in your dating app, a lot of times you're just talking to bots, by the way. Sorry, but it is what it is. So like
what?
Creating it, yeah, a lot of, yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Your part of your data is getting mined. So with our app, it's like, yes, you can create a bot, but it's a lot easier to create a bot profile from one like thing with just like a picture and bio and all that stuff versus like creating a profile of like 4 different social media accounts. We have a karma system in place, so if you behave well, you get good karma. If you behave poorly, you get bad karma, and good karma matches good karma, bad karma matches bad karma. If you're on Reddit, that's what that was based off of.
Gotcha.
Ooh, the bad karma matches the bad karma. Yeah. Just like that 10 and 5 example. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Saeed, do you have any more questions about this? Because I wanted to move on to Logan Paul, but I was trying to see if there is any questions about
I think it's time to move on to Logan Paul.
Why are we going to Logan Paul? That's my sphere of content is the influencers don't infiltrate this. Why must they come here now?
Well, there is one topic that does trespass over your sphere of influence, which was his NFT scam. So we kind of wanted to see, I don't know if you heard about it. I wanted to see your opinion on it. Did you know about this?
I heard he scammed people, but this has been kind of my life of the past bull market because what ShopEx is, we're an app for WooCommerce and Shopify for a Web2 brand to download our app, interact within the Web3 space, and get Web3 benefits. So if you're a brand, you're on Shopify, you want to launch your own NFT collection, you could download our app, and then within 5 minutes, you can launch an NFT collection, and then you can program an e-commerce benefit to that NFT. So if I launch an Eric Store Pass, Gold Pass, You both buy the pass. I can give you free product, discounted product, and all that stuff. So we differentiate from NFT, which is scam. Like, not all of them are scams, but 95% of them are scams. So there's an NFT that's our hype base, but the value from our NFTs come from the e-commerce utility that comes with the NFT. It's like you'll buy the NFT because you want the hat. So in terms of Logan Paul, like we've talked to plenty of businesses in Web2, and this exact conversation comes up. So this is how we came up with that pitch. Like, well, aren't 95% of NFT scams? And we're just like, yes, they are. And with Logan Paul is just another one of those. It was a money grab.
I just want to say, is like that is an insane number. 95% of NFTs are scams. What the fuck?
Yeah. Scam. It's like if you're around for the ICO market, maybe not even scams. They're just not going anywhere. There's no point. Maybe not direct scams, but like, aren't 95 of them useless? Well, yeah. Do I really care about a $500,000 monkey? No, and that's where we differentiate between the ENFT, which is an NFT with e-commerce value, and a normal NFT. So we just started referring to them as loyalty passes. But to bring up Logan Paul, or Logan, or what was it? Logan or Jake? One of them did
it.
It
was Logan, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't think he's a good person, and it doesn't surprise me that he scammed money. So
fair enough. Yeah.
Knockout right there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not a retired boxer yet. He won't challenge me. Yeah, like, dude, the influencer boxing, that's so cringe.
And the NFT scams too, they're also cringe, and also but evil, tons
of cringe.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Crypto needs to be less cringe in general. Like, imagine being a normal person trying to get into crypto. The first thing you do is you go to a Twitter Spaces of like Goblin Town, WTFs, and just a bunch of people making crypto noises. So I think crypto space as a whole, I think it will be mass adopted in the future. And the two serious things that are preventing mass adoption. The third is a joke, but it's true. The three things that are preventing crypto mass adoption is the first is incentive structures. As a normal person, there's no real reason for you to enter the cryptocurrency space. So that's where ShopEx helps a little bit, where it's like we're incentivizing e-commerce brands to enter the space, and then they offer incentives for their customers to enter the space. So that's how we're doing our part. The second reason it's not massively adopted is the user interface within Web3 and crypto is just not there for the average person. Like, I can't send my mom to cryptocurrency. Like, imagine me sending my mom to bridge some cryptocurrency. It's like, okay, where's my money? It's not showing up. Do I call customer support? Mom, there's no customer support, but I got you. Just go onto Reddit and search this exact random thread from like 5 years ago. One of your pictures is not quite there. So it's not there yet. But the good news is Web3 is composable, meaning it takes advantage of the compound interest software. We use our apps to build off another apps. So like we solve problems once. It's pretty much just, well, most codes copy and paste too, but it's pretty much that at scale. So like as the big players get in, which they are starting to get in, like ShopEx's biggest client is Fox's new Shokopopoulos, but let's say Nike, they dip their toe in, which they did. They decide to go all in, which they will. They can't send their customers through a janky Web3 experience. So they'll spend the resources, time, and effort to make it a seamless experience for their customers. Reebok, Adidas, and all the other brands will see that happen. They're like, okay, well, Nike's, and now we have to do it. Oh, they've already built a solution. We can just copy that. So now those three have good solutions, and then the rest can follow. So I think that Web3 mass adoption works itself out. For Web3 to be massively adopted, it has to be done completely in the background. Like, my mom has to take out her phone, tappity tap tap. She gets her Web3 stuff. She doesn't know Web3's happening. She walks away happy. So that's the second reason. And the third reason, I think crypto needs to be less cringe. Like, Logan Paul's cringe, but at the same time, crypto Twitter can be kind of cringe, where it's like you walk in and it's like, what are you guys doing? And having this conversation with brands are like look at right now, it's like the meme coin phrase. Like, everyone's going crazy over different meme coins, like different
coins.
Dogs.
Oh my god.
Different Doge. different Doge, like different dog coins. And like from the outside perspective, it makes the space look like a clown show, which I find kind of funny because the same people so first of all, the dog coins are just the same group of people rotating between dog coins. A lot of times the same groups of people rotating between the meme coins because they can select the one that pumps next. So like, oh, this one's going to pump. So it's like a rotation of the same money. getting richer, which is kind of, because it's one of those things like you have to be in the know. It's like, the group, they do their thing. So it's like a rotation type thing. But at the same time, it's like these same people, they're like, oh, crypto mass adoption. All we care about is the technology of Bitcoin. We want crypto mass adoption. At the same time, they're just like pushing meme coins like crazy. And then we have a normal, like the Web2 executive was like, the funny story. So like Pepe, we were about to launch a NFT project with Impact Wrestling, which is a pretty decently, it's like a WW type E thing. They had everything set to go. They bought our licenses, they created the pass, they had the images. Their pass benefits were you buy the wrestler pass, you get an autographed merch, you get to meet the wrestler, which I think is kind of cool. So they were on their Shopify backend, they were launching the pass. Gas at that point was super high. So for your listeners who don't know, gas is just the fee you pay it's the fee you pay on Ethereum to do anything on the network. The more activity the network is happening, like in the network, the higher gas fees can get, which they get pretty annoying at some points in time. So at the exact moment that they were about to launch their pass and just start promoting it, Pepe was doing its thing. So it's like, why is gas so high? This is like 5 times what you estimated. And they're like, and then I had to explain to them what Pepe was, which made me look like a fool. I'm just like, well, there's this coin. It's called Pepe. It's like, why do I care what Pepe is? And the issue with that was because they're a bigger brand. Like for me, it's fine. I can just get more ETH and pay them more ETH. But they had to go through for them to get the ETH, they have to go through many different steps. They can't just go buy ETH. So then they just weren't able to launch the pass because of the meme coin launching. And in the end, the project failed because it didn't fail. It just didn't work because it was meant to not work out. The second reason it didn't work out is it was also during the bear market where most people think NFTs are scams and there's no sentiment. So they did their PR release right around the time of SBF, like within the week of SBF. So it was right around SBF time. So they did their release on like Instagram and they got ratioed hard saying, we don't want NFTs, they're scams. At that point in time, they're like, oh, we should pull the project. I'm like, yes, I agree with you. Ooh. So in terms of ShopEx, that's what we've been dealing with the past 3 years. But as sentiment switches and turns around and crypto becomes more massively adopted, we're in the perfect position to be the place people go. A, if they want consulting, just because a lot of people don't know what they're doing and we're happy to help. But B, if they want to enter the Web3 space, we're the easiest way to enter the Web3 space.
Okay.
Wow.
I probably went on a tangent there.
Yes. Saeed, do you have a comment?
I kind of want to know what's SPF and ratioed mean. I feel like ratioed is something that I've heard on Twitter before when someone just gets more downvotes or something like that.
Yeah, so SPF is Sam Bankman-Fried. He was the CEO of FTX, which was one of the most popular crypto exchanges. And so what he was actually doing is he was using user funds to gamble on cryptocurrencies, and he lost everyone's money. So it'd be like a bank using that. It's funny, he's related to Gary Gensler, so yeah, it was a whole thing. So obviously that tanked everything. It just put a bad taste in everyone's mouth that it got to scam. And what ratioed is, it's you had it right, where it's like, I probably have the definition wrong myself, but when they did their Instagram post, most of the comments were negative. So when they saw it, they're like, no, thank you to the project.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Because people were turned off a bit by it. But I think it's really cool because it's the future and it makes new ways. Like for example, let's say you're a musician, right? The Ali Inside band, and we dropped an album, Ali Inside's album, and we wanted to sell it. So someone could go on our website and they can buy an NFT that we made.
So would you guys could do, let's say, the audience? It could be. So the music itself could be the NFT. They could own a portion of the song. They could pay a lot of money for it. And every time that song plays online in the future, they'll be able to collect a small amount of royalties because they own a portion of the song. So if you're like, imagine if like Linkin Park or Elton John or some of the famous brands sold like one of their songs, it's a one-of-one copy, they would make a lot of money. But in a more practical case, let's say Ali and Syed, you guys have your first concert next week. I think you guys will be great, but you're not that big right now. So you launch a NFT. Yes, you launch an NFT collection for your loyal fans. Like, hey guys, these are NFTs. This is the Ali Inside loyalty pass.
Mm.
50 of your closest friends and family buy the pass to support you. Maybe they get autographed merch. Maybe they get a shirt. Maybe they get nothing. Maybe the NFT functions as a ticket. You never know. It's a digital property type thing. But 20 years down the line, like I said, you guys will crush it in terms of bandland. You guys are front stage Coachella. You're number one. You're number one in the world.
Right.
But you know who your original fans were. You know who your core fan base was. Like
Wow.
you guys are my OGs. Let me gift you front row stages. Let me gift you autograph merch. Let me give you access to exclusive content on your website. So if like you have that NFT, you can get to a token gated section where you can hear the early songs first. You get a
Mm.
bunch of perks. So you can play around that way. In terms of tickets too, like if you want to sell tickets as NFTs, I think that's a powerful tool technology too, just because Ticketmaster doesn't take their mass amounts of fee. It's me personally annoying when I buy like something on Ticketmaster, it's like $60 and it ends up being like 120. It's like, why is
Yeah,
this?
totally.
But but like let's say a sports game. I like Kobe. Let's say each ticket is an NFT. So you Saeed, you want to see Kobe. You buy the
Hmm.
ticket. You can't go anymore. Instead of selling on Ticketmaster and they collecting a bunch of fees, either I pay it or you pay it. You
Yeah.
find me. You put it up open market. You set the price you want. I can then either auction for the ticket and you can accept, or I can just pay the price you want immediately. Then the
Hmm.
ticket ownership conveniently transfers owner to me. So now, even though you bought the ticket is now completely owned by me, one of one.
Yeah.
I then go to the game. It's a great game because RIP Kobe, Kobe be goated. He does something fantastic. Like let's say it's the game where he passes Michael Jordan in points. That's a
Mhm.
big deal. All the
Hmm.
tickets were so all the NFTs are tickets. Now you have proof of attendance. You know exactly who was there at that historic moment. You can then
Mm.
airdrop an NFT of that moment of like a Kobe passing Michael in points. So now you have a historic NFT to prove that. So it's like a bobblehead, but better. And on top of that, it's an NFT. That NFT can then unlock a specific product on the website of the store. So let's say it's like you're there for Kobe's passing MJ in points. Fantastic. You get the NFT. That's great. Oh, now you can go to the store and you can claim your autographed Kobe MJ shirt or whatever they decide.
Mm. So also on that point, when someone receives that NFT, are they also open to maybe selling it or giving it away to someone else?
Yeah. So let's say
And what
in this,
and just to add another question, would at any point maybe let's say as the person who is giving out this NFT, if they're becoming maybe a little more popular or their stock increases, like you said, like we were saying with our band, would the value of the NFT also increase at a certain point? Like for example, the first example we gave with having a token for being on the first concert to attend or something like that.
yeah, so that's totally up to the people. So to answer your first question in terms of NFT, let's say you give the NFT to me, or I purchase from you, however I get the NFT. If I
Mm.
own the NFT, it's my NFT. I can keep it for my rest of my life. I can burn it. I can pass it to my family. I can give it to another friend. It's my NFT. It's up to me what to do with it. So if I give it to Ali, same applies to him. From the brand perspective, when they're writing the smart contract, they can program in royalties too. So like as a brand, it's like, okay, well, fine. If you want to sell an NFT, that's great. Well, we get 5% every time you sell an NFT. Okay,
Mhm.
well, fine. We don't want anyone selling the NFT. We can create a contract where the NFT can't move, or we can just make royalties be like 100%. No one's going to sell at that point. And
Mm. Okay.
in terms of the question about if the NFT goes up in price, this is, and I'll bring it back to e-commerce just because that's my area of expertise, but I think you can extrapolate this to other industries. That's one of my favorite parts about the NFTs because yes, if the brand value does go up in value, the NFT holders theoretically the NFT pass should go up in value as well. So let's say the e-commerce brand we're working with, they launch an NFT collection. They're relatively small. Their original supporters they buy the NFT because they like the brand, they like the products, whatever reason. The brand then shoots up in value, which is
Hmm.
great for the brand. The NFT holders NFTs should theoretically ship in value as well. So it's a way to share the wealth with the customers, like your core fan base, versus the shareholders, which I think is cool. But again, like all
Hmm.
pricing is complete speculation and not financial advice. But in
This is
in
not
a
financial
reasonable
advice. Yeah.
in a reasonable world, that's what would happen. But you never know.
So let's. This question is. I want to address it so like that everyone can understand how like the steps to this. So we're speaking to the average audience member, and they want to understand. so we're talking about NFTs, talking about e-commerce, but how do I make an NFT? Like, what are the steps to make an NFT? Where do I go? What do I do? Where do we go from? What do we do?
So if you're just if you're Shopify, if you want to make an NFT, like for whatever reason, what you would do is you would create a graphic or hire a graphic designer, and you'd have hire a developer, and they would create the NFT for you. That would run about 20 to 30 grand, so it's relatively expensive.
Oh
But with
wow.
yeah, no, Web3 devs aren't cheap. But with with ShopEx, if you're an e-commerce brand and you wanted to create an NFT with e-commerce value for your customers, we've simplified the process for you. So what you would do is you would go to your Shopify or WooCommerce app store. It's just like the Apple store for e-commerce stores where there's a bunch of apps.
Yeah.
You download the ShopEx app, you create an account, you get the right amount of tokenized software licenses. So our tokens, for the first time ever, they function as tokenized software licenses. You have an account, you have the tokenized software licenses, you're within our platform, you fill out 2 simple forms. Form 1, it creates NFT. Form 2, it creates a landing page. So you just basically fill out information like name, picture, price, amount of NFTs. Click next, fill out a landing page, description, like when do you want the pass to be live? And again, really simple information. You click deploy. Congratulations, you've just deployed your smart contract. And since we've already integrated your Shopify store, you just go to your Shopify backend, click add products, and you decide which products you want to add to that NFT. Great. Now you have an NFT with e-commerce products attached to it. Then you get one URL. You send it to your customers. They can either purchase in Ethereum or they can purchase in credit card. So we made it simple for them. Once they purchase the NFT, let's say they purchase the NFT gives access to product A. I have the NFT. Say you don't have the NFT. We both go to try to purchase that product. Because I have the NFT, it scans my wallet. I have the NFT. I can add the product to checkout, and I can continue as normal. So any retention emails, any marketing emails, they still fire off. Any payment methods the brand still has, still works. But you say you don't have the NFT, you're like, I want to buy this hat. I see it's token gated. It's token by this pass. You can't add it to your cart, but you see below, it's like, okay, if I want this product, I have to buy this pass.
Eric, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely feel like you've had this scripted. You've said this so many times, haven't you, in your lifetime?
Oh no, I'm on the crypto podcast tour. So the way I look at it is, I think of my audience as the bots that transcribe the podcast. So I think once in the future, if someone were to search up like what is Web3, what are NFTs, how can they use for e-commerce, and they search that naturally, I want to put as much content out so they find something I've said, and then that eventually leads to ShopEx, because ShopEx is a ecosystem-driven product. So the more attention that goes on the ShopEx ecosystem, the stronger it gets, the better it gets for me, the team, and all of our community members. So dude, I'm on like the podcast tour. Never scripted anything, but I've just said it so many times. It's just like,
Well, thank you for making it very easy and structured.
Yeah. But what about, so why is it not, so what are we waiting for? Like, why isn't the Lakers selling tickets and NFTs? Why isn't Dune 2 an NFT? Why isn't, everything an NFT just yet?
Just overall, like I mentioned earlier, the infrastructure to everyday people is not there yet. It's being built, so it's more of a customer type thing. And I'll use a ShopEx example. So ShopEx is a B2B2C product, meaning it could sign all the businesses in the world, but if their customers aren't ready, then they're not ready. It's gonna be dead on its feet. So we're just waiting for crypto as a whole to be more adopted, more accessible, and just people more psyched about it. Then the NFT stuff follows after.
Okay, so just a matter of time.
Probably I would say 5 to 10 years is probably like a realistic time frame.
Okay, that sounds good, man. So
it's a good time to get started.
Yeah, for sure. No, thinking ahead. So I have a question about AI, just to conclude this whole pod. So let's talk about AI. Are they our friends? Are they our enemies? Should we trust them? Should we rely on them? If you were trying to text a girl, would you use ChatGPT to help you craft text to a girl? Since, as you say, men are stupid at making texts, should we use ChatGPT?
To answer your first question, AI to me is completely neutral. It depends on the person using it. So just like a gun or a knife, like yeah. So technology to me is completely neutral. To answer your question, men are not stupid in crafting. In men are not stupid. They know how to talk. They know how to speak. They are stupid in womanese. Like when you're talking, most men just have no idea. Like they don't pick up the subtext. So in text. So to answer your question, I wouldn't use AI to try to message a girl. I may, if I'm lazy, edit the AI to edit the message. But the main reason I personally wouldn't do that is I think in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. So everything has a different vibration. So you can pick up. That's where you can pick up authenticity. So like, let's say you look at a beautiful piece of art, like, and you get a feeling about it. It's because that's high vibe. Whereas if you look at the same exact art and it's a copy, you don't get that feeling. So when you're sending out AI messages, people I think can just kind of tell. It's like, oh, you just kind of wrote an AI message. I don't want to respond versus an actual message. So for that reason, I prefer to handwrite at the very least. And when I've used AI to mass send cold emails, a lot of people are just like, "Do you just AI me?" I'm just like, "Well, yeah, but the value's still there." But I can tell it's just kind of off-putting. So I wouldn't use AI to message a girl. I would prefer a phone call or face to face. So my goal would be to get on that date as quickly as possible.
Nice. I'll
Fair
have
enough.
to
Fair
push
enough.
back on what you said about AI is like a gun or a knife or something because AI has a mind of its own, doesn't it? Doesn't AI, isn't the difference between AI and the printing press is that AI can create things on its own and it's its own entity that can influence the world and has its own agenda and it has its own, philosophies and worldviews.
Yeah. So to your point about that, it still relies on the creator. So we haven't created that version of AI yet, where it just starts thinking, it just starts taking over. So right now, AI at its core is just pattern recognition software at scale, which can have good or bad benefits. Like I think dating is using it in a positive way, but let's say you use AI to run tabs. Let's say you have a data bank of medical records for whatever reason. You use AI to just scan all that data, read all the data, learn about that data, and recognize patterns in that data. You could do two things. It could be good or bad. A good thing to do is like, okay, people who have this specific pattern of whatever combination of things usually end up with this disease. Maybe we should warn them to get this checked out. Or you can use the same pattern, like, okay, the people have this, they end up with this disease. Let's wait a bit and then try to find ways to charge them money. So AI, in its sense, I would say it is neutral. And if we were to create an AI that thinks of its own, it'll be on the creators to program the base of it good. So, for example, if the creators of, I guess we're talking about like the Terminator version of AI, it's like, well, for the good of
Yeah.
humans, we have to destroy the humans. So that'll be if the person who like created the base of that AI were to do that, the color of that AI's lens would be that, where it's like, we need to destroy all humans type of thing. But if they created the base layer of saying humans are beautiful, they're all individual. Yes, they have their flaws, but most of them mean well. We want to help humans. Then the base of that AI would be a good AI. So again, it depends on the creator. And I don't foresee like a Terminator world type happening where like there's always gonna be like a turn off button. Going back to Web 5.
Okay. Okay. The
I
turn off
hope
button is
so.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also important that people creating the AI, I think, has to not be the people in charge right now. Yeah.
All right, Saeed. I wanted to leave the last question up to you and about the business cards and such.
The business cards? Do
Yeah,
elaborate, bro.
the business cards and
Oh,
making each business card its own QR code, which is a unique token.
yes. Wait. Let me get one.
Yeah, sounds good.
We got these too.
Oh, let me see what you have over there.
So,
That's
oh,
really
he
cool.
has one of
Yeah.
his own.
Me,
So
your
this is us.
match.
This is our card. And
Okay.
then on the back is the QR code. Scan, guys, scan. Takes you directly to our website,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
has links to all our socials. And to be honest, when we were talking about NFTs, I was actually thinking like we could probably use our logo because like it literally looks like a coin and turn it into like a type of currency, a cryptocurrency in the future. So But yeah, this is our business card. Just want to show you this. I don't know what Ali meant by asking about it, but
It was the best business card I've ever seen. Tremendous.
Thank
I
you.
think, I think you just wanted to show it off.
That's it. That's all that matters.
that was it. There is a question actually I did want to ask, which was, it's a thought that I had recently, and it's, since we're talking on the point of AI, and I do believe AI is like the future of our evolution. I want to understand, like, I want to see your perspective on this. Like, my thought was, what's the point of evolution? Like, is it actually good for like the planet Earth, for the humankind, if everything that we do in evolution is usually just us growing, but at the same time, every time we grow, we're like solving we're solving problems with solutions, and then those solutions are becoming future problems, and then with that we are just fucking up the earth, and you know, just destroying everything around us, destroying the environment around us.
Yeah, so I think our evolution as human race will actually be more of a de-evolution, where we return to our roots, we return to respecting Mother Nature, we return to respecting God, we return to just going back to a state of abundance, a state of happiness as our base layer. And I think AI helps with that. So I think one of the big problems right now is people are living in scarcity, and this is by design. How do you control a population? You keep them poor, you keep them worried about rent, you keep them. So if you go back to the vibrational frequency scale, like it's between 1 and 1,000. If you're below 200, you're taking energy. So if you talk with a negative person, that's what's happening. If you talk with a positive person, they're like 500. So it's joy, love, peace, happiness. You give energy, and then people feel abundant after talking to you. They crush their goals. So if you're on the levels between 1 and 200, so it's like fear, pride, anger, hate, shame is the lowest. So if you log into social media, they're pushing levels around that because that's when the population is most controllable. So if there's a powers that be that wanted to keep control of the population, they would keep them poor, they would keep them scared, they would keep them fearful, and then they'd be able to rule from the top and just extract resources like they've been doing. But with technologies like blockchain and this is a script, I'm just making it up as we go along, but with technologies like blockchain and crypto, you can unleash people's creativity, and then they can enter a state of abundance. They can enter a state of just helping others. So for example, there's a kid in India without AI. With AI, he has a brilliant idea that would help millions of people, and that would generate wealth for him because he's adding value. So with AI, like, okay, I need a website. Let's code this. Oh, I need some copy. Write me some copy. Oh, I need graphic designers. I need a logo. Let's sell on this logo. He's able to put the idea into fruition. He's able to manifest idea faster, and hopefully it helps more people. Whereas without AI or without technology, he'd be stuck in the slums and wouldn't be able to help people. So I think most people are, like 95% of the people are, I would say they're naturally good. Like they're just trying their best. They may have some problems, but they are really trying their best. Like they're good people, but they're just stuck in lower levels. They're stuck in scarcity. Like if you have to rob a bank if you have to rob a grocery store to feed your family, most people would probably do that. But if you could create a lifestyle for you of abundance and scarcity and high positive vibrations and spread that along, it just gets better for everyone. And that would lead to I think our natural. Oh, so I think we're at a crossing point. We're going one of two ways. We're either super fucked if like the bad powers that win, like the nuclear just terminate everything was bad, or we can ascend as a collective and go back to our roots of nature, go back to our roots of family. We have to respect Mother Earth. We can't keep messing with it. It just doesn't work. And this is all a profit-based system too. So then this that was a full tangent, but this is what led me to Bitcoin originally, which fixes this. So I think Bitcoin at its core, I think it fixes the current incentive layer as humans as a whole, which is really corrupt right now. So just think about it logically. I'm in the United States. If I'm going to get rich, which I think everyone wants to get rich, so to me, money's neutral. You can make money in a good way, add value, great. You can make money in a bad way, that's bad karma, not so great. So the easiest way for me to get really rich without doing anything, how do I do this? I place myself right next to the money printer, and then I take from that money printer like a politician, and I give that money to my friends, buy myself power. Now they have power and money. Now there's three corrupt politicians. Us three corrupt politicians, not that we are, will beat the good politicians because we have corrupt money. We're like, think about like you trying to run against someone with a super PAC. You can't win. So now there's 6 corrupt politicians, and it just extrapolates from there. But in a cryptocurrency-based world, let's say, Saeed, I do want your Bitcoin. How do I get your Bitcoin? Well, I have to create value for you, and then you have to voluntarily give me your Bitcoin. So in a value creation incentive world, for me to get as rich as possible, I have to think of ways to create as much value as possible for as much people as possible. And that's how I'd earn my wealth. So if everyone's thinking that way, just think of like I said, back to our college example, like think of how much time and resources are lost on just useless like rent-seeking jobs, like or like admin jobs. There's like, do 30% of colleges have to be admin? Probably not. Do we need to have a government as big as we have? Probably not. Do we need to have like it cuts out the fat? So now instead of like how do I just take money from everyone, like how do I get a bigger piece of the pie? It's like, well, how do I just increase the pie for everyone? Which will lead into the only way for me to increase the pie for everyone is to follow my authentic self, because that's the best way I can make money, is just by following my intellectual curiosity. That'll lead me to follow my intellectual curiosity, which will lead me to be happy, will lead me to be high vibe, be on my purpose, have good conversations like this. And that just kind of brings everyone up.
Wow. No,
Wow.
that's a beautiful thought over there. And
I was stoked on
want-
that. Like, yeah, like
No,
I didn't know where that
you
came
felt
from.
it. You felt it. No,
Yeah.
that's I definitely agree with what you're saying. You know, we're all
He was
so
cooking,
limited.
bro. He was cooking.
Oh, Chef Curry with a shot.
We're also limited by fear, you know. We're also fearful, and
Yeah.
there's genuine fears like paying the bills, you know, and that's what traps a lot of our world and society. And that's what makes us do bad decisions, you know, is fear based. And so, and we have the capabilities of doing it, of erasing the fear base. I believe in universal basic income, and I think that we should all just have at least part of our basic needs met, you know, so that we can be less fearful and focus on the things that we can do to contribute to society, as opposed to be fearful of society. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't think anyone should starve. So
Great
I'm on
question.
board. The thing is, like I don't think anyone should starve. And I think going back to the original thought, the reason people are starving is to incentivize, like, again, keeping the pie whole. Like, think of the super elites, how much money they're storing, how much like the government. Let's use a U.S. example for government. The money they printed for Ukraine, or like, not I'm saying like Ukraine's a neutral thing, but the money they printed from
War.
that,
Yeah, exactly.
they could have probably fed a lot of people in America for that.
Totally.
So their incentive was not to feed America. It was to place themselves next to the money printer and to keep that war going, because they're creating like their defense contracts. They're just making tons of money. So in that value creation economy, I think of money as energy, and you don't want to like dam up the energy. You want to let the money, like in the value creation economy, money's free flowing. People are spending money. People are making money. People are creating value. They're creating value. This is raised up. Like you can't pour from an empty cup. Like you can't be worrying about universal basic income when most of the people are living in poverty. But if most of the people are living in abundance, that's really the only way you can tackle that issue. Which I think it should be. Like I don't think anyone should starve. But like I'm also not like
I agree.
Elon Musk. I
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
What about you, Saeed? What do you think?
I hope so.
I'm on the same page, brother. I'm on the same page.
We did it, man.
But yeah, it's been great. Eric, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It's been amazing. How can people find you, and how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so the best way to do that, if you're interested in ShopEx Web3 e-commerce, our website, shopx.co. It's there. We have pretty cool graphics. We got some good results on that, so check out the graphics. For Dataing, if you're interested in AI-powered matchmaking, it's dataing.io. But if you just want to connect with me personally, or just want to chat, or just, my goal is to be as helpful as possible, just shoot me like a DM on Instagram, ERICDMCHUGH.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you, Eric, so much. This has been very educational. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, for me too. It's been equally educational. That's fun.
And this is how we sign out. We salute to cover the camera, and peace.
Woo! And we're out of here.